Toothpick! I hate this weapon. Okay, maybe that's a bit too much editorializing before even starting. Here's the basics. Big ol' survival scaling club that can be charged up to do burst damage at the cost of being broken for a few seconds. Broken club swings faster with reduced damage. Hitting with a weapon will also stun enemies for a short time, which helps with the long swing time and getting that charge set up. So why do I hate it so? Looking at the screen, you'd think it's decent. I don't even need to charge to one-shot most foes. Well, my non-existent straw man I made up for this hypothetical. This is the first area, and I have a plus 40% damage affix on this version of the weapon. The damage, in short, is not all that impressive on what's supposed to be a huge single hit gimmick, and the stun, while nice, is nothing I take the weapon for. Also, swing time is awful. Just terrible, and it only gets worse over the course of the run. I mean, it's not all bad here. I did get an invisibility necklace. Slow swing and charge time doesn't matter if I'm invisible while doing it. And add the bonus that you get while being invisible. There's something there. Decided on a little Castlevania action because even at this point I'm not expecting much from the weapon, so the route I'm going to be taking otherwise is boring. Also, I can say that I have a bone to pick with these skeletons. A bone to pick with these skeletons. Teeth are like bones, right? It's also why I'm wearing the giant outfit. Damage in this biome is not too shabby, which I did expect. I knew that going into this run, I'd want to prioritize getting that 40% plus damage affix, and eventually 2-time damage, if it would ever show up. Now, let's look at an elite fight. No, not a good port for the rest of this run. By the way, I did this for every shop. It's tragic in some ways. Heavily editing these runs means that you miss out on quality content like this and the 5 minutes I spent eating a bowl of spaghetti in the middle of the run. A basic tomato sauce, a little bit of Parmesan, since I know you would all be clamoring for the details in the comments. I'm all spaghettied up, so let's get to the precipitous downfall of this run. Damage is still okay against regular enemies, but elites aren't going down even with a fully charged swing. You know, the major selling point of the weapon. Of course, having an invisibility necklace still does wonders for getting through the areas. This does mean that malaise continues to tick up. But it's also been my experience that I can't kill enemies fast enough to prevent that regardless. At least not safely. And maybe it was the spaghetti. Made me lose that hunger to win. Alright, new rule. No more talking about spaghetti. I refuse to make this the spaghetti run. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, a boss fight. You saw how it went against that last elite, just imagine that times 20. Because look at the damage. And I will say this, I did maybe go for the charge attack a little bit more often than I should. And by that, I mean pretty much every chance that I got. But I would counter with, if I'm not using the charge attack, then why am I even using this weapon, right? I could just take out a broadsword and it would probably be significantly more effective. Or something like Scythe Claws, which not only has higher damage, but more range, even if you might lose another slot with it. And, you know, hey, you do get a good showcase of the club kind of reforming after 6 seconds, which I like as an animation. Also, the stun time lasts for a lot longer than I thought it did on this weapon. Well, at least against a boss. Because I didn't realize until about halfway through here that I can go and get a couple hits with the broken club after I do a fully charged attack. So that's pretty nice. Even the broken club does do little micro stuns there. Not that I think that's going to be useful for anything except for maybe occasionally interrupting an attack. Still, it is something to keep in mind. This is a good stunning weapon. But that's not what I want out of a main hand weapon. Especially one that swings as slowly as this one. That's kind of the issue when it comes to using this. The other thing I think is that maybe going through the Castlevania area did kind of limit the amount of stats that I could get, and I am working with a little bit less than normal, but, well, I don't think it would be that much higher. And I am still using that plus 40% increased damage affix, so I do have that working for me, and it's still only doing this much. It's not a lot, And needless to say, nowhere close to getting the legendary weapon after this one. No. This is going to be a trip over into the shrines, which I expected, but also does mean that there's no way I'm going to be taking that cursed chest, so I'm now going to be down another stat compared to everything else. It's that sort of dynamic that is working here against me. The fact that I can't really kill things fast enough to prevent me from getting a lot of melees. I don't feel like I can take on a cursed chest and survive. So there is sort of a level of me losing out on a lot of stats, which is just making the run worse overall because the weapon is bad. You can really sum up a lot of the frustrations I'm having with this weapon with the fight against the big guy in the shrines. Invisibility not activating him, missing the shot, tons of other enemies getting in the way. Just look at the way that I'm afraid that shockers will hit me before I can hit them. Coming in here, I had no idea what the legendary affix would be for the Toothpick, and it's a stun enemy. A normal, if rare, affix that can appear on any survival weapon. And the stun is very short, although maybe a bit longer with the natural stun the Toothpick has. My disappointment was so great that I didn't even bother using it for more than a couple foes. Considering it now, kill rhythm may have been a good choice. That wind-up time is bad on this weapon. Neither the Scarecrow or Timekeeper are good choices, so I decided to go with Clock Tower. It's the easier of the two biomes. It's getting obvious that, between the slow swing speed and DPS, I'm not having an easy time fighting anything that isn't a single regular enemy. You know, it's funny. It used to be when playing games like this, I would always go for the biggest weapons if possible. Getting the Claymore back in Castlevania, playing Demon Souls for the first time was all about getting that Dragon Bone Smasher. And it still remains a satisfying way to play games, crushing my enemies, sometimes literally. But after playing dozens of games of this style, I really have found that I like fast, mobile weaponry. Even if it's not the most powerful of weapons, things like the Pure Nail have become some of my favorites because you can still move while swinging them. And that might be why I'm just having so much difficulty with this run. I keep wanting to play it like the weapon is faster. Well, okay, I say that, but then you look at the boss fights and no, the weapon just isn't that good. The Timekeeper. Oh, the Timekeeper. Well, I started out trying to go for charge attacks, and it works, sort of. I still got hit, but I did rally up most of the health. But yeah, if she's not running at me from the other side of the room, there is no way that I can possibly get that working, and I still get hit regardless, so it's already a bad strategy. Try switching it up into just regular attacks, but actually, that works even worse. You know, the fast character that also teleports around a lot. No, it's regular attacks still not going to do very well, and I'm still getting hit as I'm trying to hit her. So, yeah, maybe if I got the 2 times damage Toothpick, I could do something here. And certainly coming in here with no potion charges did not help, but it's not great. It's not a great fight with the Toothpick. I'm even surprised I got as far as I did. Second run, it's the Toothpick. That kind of works, right? Anyway, went for the Giant this time because of the second tier bosses. I think he's the one I got the best shot against. Not nearly as mobile as either the Scarecrow or the Timekeeper, although the hands do not get stunned, period, so I do lose out on that whole benefit. Eyeball does, though. As you can see with the little animation there, I don't know what that does for me, but that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Well, hey, I will give the weapon credit for this. It does hit the Giant if you are just swinging at him. I don't need to try and time a jump to be able to actually hit the hands, which I think other survival weapons do have that issue. Still going for a lot of the charge hits, even though I know it's not a good idea. It's just, why take the weapon otherwise, right? Come on, I'm really hoping that the charge attack does more damage every single time than it actually will. Ah, well. I am getting hit by a lot of projectiles here. Oh, by the way, I did get another invisibility necklace. I guess that's just an important part of these runs. Maybe they have it programmed that You just automatically get that. Oh, you're using a toothpick? Well, you're going to need a lot of extra help here. Have the ability to just kind of walk through biomes without anybody noticing you. You're welcome. All right, and it's still not even in the second phase. You might start to get a feeling at this point in time that this is... I mean, I think the music just looped, didn't it? How often does that happen in any fight, much less the giant fight? Oh boy, oh boy. Sit back and relax. This is going to be something of a lengthy one. I mean, I think it's also very telling, but I keep getting hit by the super attacks on one of the hands. Yeah, that's why I'm prioritizing the left hand, obviously, because that's a way harder attack to dodge. Not that I'm doing a great job with the other one, but, you know, I'm trying. I'm making an attempt. I'm doing the best that I can with what I have to work with, okay? It's not like I'm going to be able to get the invisibility buff or anything. No, not in this fight. It's a little bit too much happening at any point in time. And I do have the opportunity to actually hit... There, finally, second phase. That's right, halfway over. Half of the video is going to be this fight alone, isn't it? Well, on top of everything else, I also took masochism to make sure that the crystals weren't going to be doing too much damage to me. Just be able to tank a hit while I'm trying to hit the eyeball, for example, or charge up an attack for whatever that's worth, but... I mean, I'm making an attempt. I'm trying. It's not going great, but it is going. Oh, that second hand's not looking good. And hey, I did get the invisibility there, so I guess it's not impossible. I just need to dodge around a lot. Well, it is almost 100,000 damage. Yeah, if I got that 2 times damage, I'm telling you, that would be the secret sauce that makes this weapon kind of just a okay rival, maybe, to the Cyclops. Maybe. I'll even take the 2 times damage. I don't care. It's just like, because I would be in this fight half as long, and that's probably not even true. It'd probably be a fraction of that, because, you know, a lot of this is based on beating up the hands, which I would be doing much faster. All right, finally deciding to... Hey, my malaise tier increased. Oh, and this is, by the way, even with actually going for curse chests and everything. Now I went an alternate route, got to 25 stats here, which ain't too bad for this point. And this is about as good as it's doing. So, you know. Invisibility Necklace has been quite good throughout this run, as it always is in any run. But it does beg the question of what really synergizes with this weapon. If I were not doing gimmicky, single weapon restrictions, what would a real build look like? And, well, nearly every suggestion I could make would work better with a better weapon. There just aren't any weapons that are buffed by your critical DPS or work extremely well with a single large hit. You got stuff like Phaser? Would that be good with this? Not with that charge up time. Additional damage on freezing, I guess, would be the main one. Freezing an enemy usually requires like a specialized item for that, and then you still have the charge attack and the weapon breaking. It's a lot of stuff. Any other weapon you could attack 10 times or more before you set up that ideal circumstance again. And if the game introduced items that encourage waiting between hits or making big hits more worthwhile, that might be something. But as it is, Dead Cell's gameplay just does not work for this weapon. That just sums up everything, doesn't it? Hand of the King, with no potion charges, and I didn't take the mutation that doubles your health but prevents healing, which is, of course, not a problem right now. I did go with gold armor, which gave me effectively 12,000 extra health, but that's not quite the same as doubling now, is it? Well, comboing both those together, maybe instead of taking disengagement might have been a good idea, but I don't think there was much that was going to save this. So, actual strategy. I have, as you've seen, entirely given up on trying to go for the charge attacks. I'm just hitting with the weapon normally now. And surprisingly, the hardest part here isn't even dodging around the Hand of the King's attacks, it's those exploding banners. Because, and it's pretty obvious as I'm trying to hit them here, I can't really get a solid hit off before the Hand of the King is already attacking me again. Which means that I either need to stay out of the way of them or hope that they spawn directly next to me so that I can take them out, you know, before I get attacked again. It's rough. And obviously I'm also playing pretty badly too, but it should be no surprise. I mean, I think that certainly one of the things with this run, it's not like it's impossible to do a toothpick run or anything. It's just really hard and not worth the effort. It's just very annoying having to deal with this weapons whole thing and essentially having significantly less damage than you would at most points in the game, so... Oh, come on. Get up there and hope for the best. At least I'm far away from the banners this time. So yeah, although I could probably, even just like one more run, I'm sure I could actually do at least a mostly successful run here. I'm just done with using the toothpick.